Who likes our first slide, by the way? Alright, I got you all. We are group 1B. 1B!
Go Constant!
Alright. First off, we want to say I appreciate the efforts of everybody on this team, and I want to remind everybody that an Honors in Action project includes everybody on your team. So I want to give a big shout out for everybody on this stage right now. Another big shout out for Miss Holly over here who helped guide us in our process. Alright, so who wants to talk about chicken? Alright, so obviously our theme was the nature of the quest. I'm sure you guys have heard plenty about it earlier today. We had the lovely Sam Baldwin here who helped to guide our way. So obviously our theme was assigned, so we had a direction that we were pointed into, which is how we chose our theme. So we had a lot of discussion and we tried to figure out where we could go with it. What we did was we looked at the Honors in Action study topic guide, and we were really drawn to the articles in the Explore More section. I'll say this, I know I've read that thing cover to cover, backwards, forwards, and sideways. It is a fantastic tool to use, and it really helped us guide our way in this project. You may have seen there was a slide of us going crazy on the whiteboard. We put a lot of topics on the board, had a lot of discussion because we knew this could go in so many different angles. What we ended up getting to was a discussion on the nature versus nurture concept. As far as what we are exploring, is it a product of nature? Is it biological? Is it inherent in us? Or is it nurture? Did we learn this behavior? I'm going to turn it over to some of my lovely assistants here who are going to tell you a little bit more about our research.
Okay, so first article for nurture was by Natalie Carvall. Why do we explore? She came up with 2 points that were exploration and creativity are ultimately a product of biological drive for survival, and also that humans are not alone in this. All creatures that have made this or have done so because their survival instinct drove them to expand their boundaries. And then our nurture article was by Mew and Sternberg, and they found that while it looked at the differences between Eastern and Western perceptions of creativity, and found that there are fundamental similarities, but there are also marked significant differences. Whereas the Eastern concepts stress contrast of old and new and include a communal element, the Western views of creativity is focused on the individual uniqueness.
Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? Thank you. So today, also that taking it further to nature and nurture, picking nurture first, the author Malay spoke about how one's surroundings affects one's way of perspective of creativity, which sparks exploration. Many believe that what is creativity? How one starts to explore, and many believe, and this author believes that your surroundings, your family, your friends, the country you're in, affects how you explore, or why you explore, or your reason of why you explore. Now, going to the nature side, this author believes that one explores because we are genetically bound, or genetically programmed, or just genetically we are meant to explore in this world. Let's say nomads. Nomads explore not because, let's say, their surroundings, but because they need resources. So, nurture is basically talking about how one's perspective is affected by their surroundings, and nature, and how we are naturally born explorers. Thank you.
Guys a little background information. Just it'll be pretty quick. I'm sorry if you have a few minutes, 4 minutes here. But so after, and I'll do that after. But once the nature slide, you guys all know Darwin, right? He's the one that came up with the So to kind of reflect in this, and I'll give you an explanation. Well, an example. I'm Brazilian, I'm from Brazil. I come here 8 years ago. And it was really hard to adapt. But that's something I had to do in order to survive in this country. And in order to adapt, I had to explore. I met friends, also I had to choose the right friends. And that's what brought me to adapt and become with this group of people that I'm with here today. So, that was the nature side. Now the nurture side, we have here Mihaly, the guy with the weird name over there. He believed that creativity and exploration came from culture. Because culture could bring opportunities to people. And I also want to reflect on this and give you guys an example. Since I've been into different cultures and I've been living into different cultures, I've explored and learned both of them. Now in Brazil, I was a kid back in Brazil, 11 years old, and it is way different how the kids in Brazil treat their elders. In Brazil, they treat them with respect, like they're supposed to be respected. And here, it's totally different. You go to the street and you see an 11-year-old cursing at an adult, and it's just like, what? If you go to Brazil, you will never, ever, ever see this. And I promise you, never, you guys will never see this. Okay.
I'm going to try to rush through this real quick because we don't have much time. But our nature for this slide was 2001 Space Odyssey. In 1968, Stanley Kubrick released his movie. And in the film, Kubrick suggests that humans, by chance, evolved this tendency to be curious. He suggests that it was a product of our evolution through nature that caused us to be curious, which gives us the technology we have today when we explore the different frontiers in technology. As opposed to our nurture, which in the article it talks about how different cultures have different standards for individuality. In many Asian cultures, individuality is something that is a standard and is very dependent of each other. One person's individuality depends on another person, and the norm is to fit in and conform to society. While American culture is people strive to be individuals and different from each other by expressing their unique inner attributes. And this suggests that, and studies have shown that these norms attribute to how strong someone's determined level of cognition, emotion, and motivation is.
We just wanted you to see the chicken again. Who wants those sweet cakes on that chicken, by the way? Alright, so we're going to reflect a little on this and talk about what we can do with it. First of all, I want to take a little poll. Who thinks it's nurture? Okay. Who thinks it's nature? Who is indifferent? Alright. I think we all saw that our research was pretty even between nature and nurture. And that's one of the biggest takeaways that we took from this, is that we couldn't decide one way or the other. And we had to respect both. And that's part of our action plan. The biggest thing is that we needed to research more. We didn't have time to research more today, but that is an action plan to take home with us to continue the exploration into this frontier. So, why did the chicken cross the road? Yeah, probably. Alright, I know we've got 25 seconds left, so I'm going to do another shout out quick. We gotta have some shout outs here. I gotta give a shout out to my lovely young lady here who has a master's in library and informational sciences. Let me tell you what, use your resources, people. Librarians rock. Alright, I'm going down the line. I want everybody to at least say their name because I want to shout out to everyone here because these people rock the house. My name's Nick. Peter. Earl.
Kelsey.
I love you, Lily.
I'm Constance, and I just want to promote your local library.
this one